What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Ryan. I run and operate this 3D printing business for my home office in New Jersey, starting a small business, taking you guys along the way as I do it. So it's an early morning Saturday. We have a lot going on today. The printers are off and running already, and I have some pretty big goals for this weekend. I have a lot of work to do for my full-time job. I want to do any work I can while I have downtime in my office this weekend to try to make sure that I'm cleaning up and utilizing my space as best as possible. One big issue that I have right now is that I don't really have a dedicated shipping and packing station in my office that I can utilize. I'm really just working off this folding table, putting the boxes underneath, storing them in my closet wherever I can. And it's been working fine up until now, but I think I can utilize this office space a little bit better. The goal is to turn this space and these boxes underneath into a dedicated shipping and packing station, so that way I can completely eliminate this table from the equation. I have this entire empty space over here where I mainly just keep my dog's bed, but I think if I can move that folding table and put the dog bed there, he likes to lay in the sun anyway, I can move some stuff over here and put a dedicated shipping station here. I spent the last couple of days kind of trying to figure out what would fit in that space, what kind of furniture I'd want. I looked up dedicated packing stations, but I didn't find anything that fit the dimensions I needed. It was either way too small or way too big for my needs. Then I looked on Amazon and I found a table that looks like it's made for printers or 3D printers in general. Has holders on the bottom, has racks on top. It was designed and it fit the dimensions that I needed for this space. And it looked like I can make whatever I really wanted out of it. The plus side was that it was also only $50 and that it could be here pretty soon. I'm printing a lot of things and I'm gonna probably add a Scadus pegboard to it as well, just to make life a little bit easier. But the goal is to have a dedicated packing and shipping station. That way I can work over there, keep all my stuff in their own spot, and have a dedicated area for it. Welcome back. The last thing you just watched was me talking yesterday about how I needed to make things a little bit more efficient, get rid of that folding table, get a dedicated packing and shipping station in here, just make things a little bit more efficient and easier to work with. About 10 minutes ago, I realized I accidentally deleted all of the footage. Well, either accidentally deleted or the SD card became corrupted. I'm still doing investigative work in that, but I don't have the footage. Just realized that about 10 minutes ago the next day. So I'm just gonna walk around and show you guys what we did, how we accomplished our goals, and how I think it turned out even better than I originally thought. All right, to start, printers obviously didn't move, but I now have a lot of free space. Put a garbage can, well, really a recycling can, next to the printers to clean out any of the purge buckets or anything like that. No space here for this table. Dog bed replaced here so he can lay in the sun like he likes, completely open. And all of that was either put into storage and it wasn't needed, put under stock there and in the right spot, or added to our brand new ship station. This was actually listed on Amazon as a 3D printing stand, just for a printer to go here, storage on top, and then spools to go on the bottom. But I looked at it and I viewed it as something that could be perfect for this space here. I wanted something between 24 to 32 inches and something I can mount things on. So just to give you guys a little tour, I got both my label printers here stacked on top of each other. This one's got just regular 2x1 barcodes. This one's got regular shipping labels in the back, and then this just spinning dolly thing here. All the boxes I use regularly, 6x6, 4x2x2, 6x6x4, everything that you could think of here. Extra tape, more boxes down there for easy access, small little garbage cans here, more boxes there. The table actually came with this little side pocket thing. So I have my scale in here, a few bubble stickers, and then small packaging in there just to keep handy. I went ahead and I printed and mounted the same Scadus things that I have on my desk. Everything that I need where I need it. I also printed a paper towel / packing material roller. So that way I can pull my packing material from down up, keep it off the table, and it's always there. Top rack, just handling excess business cards, some bubble mailers, and some lighter, smaller bubble mailers. But man, this has been great in the last day. I've already had to use it to package some packages, get them out for today, and I am really, really happy with it. It fits perfectly in the space. It's not in the way. It's much better use of the wall space as well. And then the storage that I have next to and in the closet is for boxes, filament, anything that I don't want to keep out or don't need right on hand can easily grab to the right of me. So all of that stuff has been completely replaced by what you're seeing here, and I am absolutely in love with it. I'm really happy with this change. I'm really liking it so far. It opens up my office a lot, gives everything a place, and it makes it just a little bit easier to move around and work all day long. I have some prints that finished up on the printer that I want to try to get out to the mailman this morning, so let's get the shipping and packing station in action. Welcome back. It's a little bit later in the day. I'm on my computer. I actually just got an email from Polymaker, and they just launched what looks like their competitor for Bamboo's PETG High Flow. So it looks like they're releasing a brand new formula for PETG to basically replace their Polylite PETG line. I think this is going to be a nice option to have. The Bamboo PETG High Flow is my go-to, not only for its consistency and its ease of use with the Bamboo printers, but just the fact that it's cheap. Like, you can get it in bulk for really good prices. I think when I order it, I get it for about $13.99 or $12.99 a spool when you order 6 or more. So it's at a really, really good rate. This Polymaker PETG is a little bit more expensive, but it's worth testing out and seeing what it delivers. So I actually went and I just picked up 2 spools of 1 kilogram black so we could test them head to head against the Bamboo. All right, next morning, busy day already getting started. Range locks that I had on 2 of the A1s yesterday are still going. They take about a day for 5 of them of the large size and then 4 of the extra large size. Have the A1 Mini working on some other products that I'm adding to the shop just to round out about 40 to 45 listings on my Etsy shop, all of things that I'm actively selling and featuring and advertising for. So all viable products that I'm happy about. Got the Centauri down here cranking out some Bamboo PETG High Flow for another product that I'm printing and prototyping. I've been having a weird issue with my Centauri Carbon. I don't know if anyone else is having this issue, but whenever it heats up or it starts up or it does anything where it's starting a print or starting a function, I get a weird, very high-pitched whining noise. It stops after a little while, but it has been pretty consistent the last couple of weeks. And I reached out to Elegoo. I haven't heard anything back. Not sure what to do. Still printing fine, no issues whatsoever. Just very loud when it starts up. Traveling down into the basement, I had a little sugar packet holder that I printed for my fiance and I. That just finished up on one of the 85Xs. And then in preparation for Halloween, I am printing a big cauldron candy dish. This is actually our first Halloween as homeowners, so we're really, really excited to be able to hand out candy, see all the kids in their costumes, and just really experience that for the first time as homeowners ourselves. Etsy sales are really starting to pick up going into November and coming out of Halloween and whatnot. So I'm seeing a lot of my seasonal products pick up, like my melted snowman coasters and the regular snowflake coasters that I sell. I have all the printers running behind me, either printing out current orders or they are printing out stock. Right now, the melted snowman coasters that I'm sending out are coming from the stock that I've built up. That is quickly dwindling, so I'm going to have one printer all the way over here dedicated to just running those snowman coasters. That way I can keep pumping them up, keep wrapping them up, and then just have them on that shelf back there. Lately, I have been having some issues with my Centauri Carbon. If you have been watching the channel, you'll know that a few months ago, I was starting to get this weird bed leveling error. Whenever I would go through the calibration process, I would get an error basically saying it wasn't able to pull the bed leveling information from the process correctly. So would get the error, I would have to reboot, and then it would be a hit or miss. Probably 9 out of 10 times if I tried it again, it would get the same error and it would reboot. And then one random time, I'd be able to get through the calibration process, get through the leveling process, and then I'd be able to print with no problem. I've been getting that error consistently for the last couple months. I looked online, other people getting the error. Elegoo was suggesting to take the entire thing apart. They'd send you sensors, and honestly, like, the fact that it was printing fine and it wasn't just able to calibrate and level, but it was still printing without an issue, was enough for me to just say, all right, let me just deal with this later on. Now, after the last month or so, I've been getting a very, very odd fan noise whenever the printer heats up. Honestly, doing anything other than turning on, it gives me a weird whining noise, and then it eventually goes away when it starts printing. Print's fine, it doesn't affect the print quality, it's just extremely annoying. So I finally reached out to Elegoo. I've been going back and forth with one of their associates, basically giving them all the information that I found while troubleshooting and having them give me stuff to try and troubleshoot. And we've now gotten to the point where they want me to completely tear apart the bottom of it and see if it's a motor or a fan issue. And on the topic of the Centauri Carbon and Elegoo, if you've been following the 3D printing industry, you will know that in the last couple of weeks, Elegoo has shifted gears and kind of abandoned their whole thing about the Centauri Carbon and the original batches of the Centauri Carbon being compatible with their multi-material unit or their AMS or whatever they're calling it. And they've now shifted completely to the Centauri Carbon 2, which will now include the multicolor unit and be multicolor capable. And will now be multicolor capable. So as somebody who was on the original live stream when they announced the Carbon, they announced the price, and they specifically said the Centauri Carbon would be compatible with the multicolor unit whenever that was available in Q3, it's very frustrating that they're now shifting gears. As someone that got a relatively early batch Centauri Carbon, I don't have the upgraded lights, I don't have the upgraded motors or the AMS port. It's kind of like I was just hung out left to dry, and that frustrates me a little bit. So I would be lying if I said I didn't think about bringing my AD5Xs up here, because not only are they multicolor capable, but they're so reliable. I love using them. And I think that I could fit them both up here. I've been thinking about it. The issues with the Elegoo and the Centauri Carbon have been frustrating, but it's still a very good machine. It still is my only enclosed Core XY printer. All right, so I just took the Centauri apart, and by taking it apart, I mean I just flipped it over and I took the back panel off. And I checked some of the things that Elegoo support told me to check, and none of them were there. The fan seemed fine. All the wires were fine. There was no corrosion, nothing out of place. Flipped it back over, ran through the testing. Not only did it make that noise, but I also got that leveling error again and had to reboot. So I'm a little frustrated. I think I'm gonna bring the Carbon downstairs and bring one of my AD5Xs up here. Just see how I like it over the next day or so. We'll see. We'll go from there, see what Elegoo responds with, and just go from there. But this is just getting frustrating, and I need a solution. All right, I moved the Centauri downstairs. I brought one of the 85Xs up here. I also raised the bottom shelf because it didn't need to be so low, and I figure I could also use it for storage if I raised it up a little bit. So I have the 85X going through the calibration. I, of course, am now thinking about how I can move the printer here, rearrange the shelves and all this. So all right, I got complacent. My fiance had a great idea of using my storage bins to keep the stock underneath here, and then kind of shifting this top row up so that way I could use it for storage still, but I create enough space on the bottom. And I'm gonna go grab the 85X and I'm gonna put it here. A dryer on either side of them, or maybe just use one dryer up here. Not sure, but let's go get the printer and we'll figure out where we go from there. The Impulse won, and I ended up bringing the other 85X up here. And honestly, it worked out better than I thought. I had to lower that bottom shelf a little bit more than I thought, but I decided to keep the bottom shelf on bottom and give the 85X a little bit more height to it and give it some more space for the cables on the top. So I like this better. I'm going to keep some minor things on the bottom, like a toolkit, a fire blanket, stuff like that. But I'm really, really happy with how this turned out. Now I have, other than the Cobra 3 Max, I have all my multicolor printers up here in my office. Went ahead and moved the printer over here, moved some boxes into a storage container in my closet for easy access. But I was getting everything I use the printer for is mainly for shipping anyway and nearby my computer. So having it here made it way easier as well. So, all right, it is the next morning. Printers are off and running. And after sleeping on this, I am really, really happy with how it's going. What I'm printing out now is just updated purge buckets for the 85Xs. That way I don't have to reach and grab the purge buckets from behind the machines. I'll be able to slot them directly on the side and I'll be able to empty them and put them back way easier. I'm getting to the end of the big roll I bought of shipping labels last year, and I got this free roll of 960 labels, I think from UPS Business at the beginning of the year. Never touched it, and it looks like I'm gonna have to start using it soon. So I went ahead and I found a roller that was compatible with it so I can get this set up behind my printer when the time comes. Other than that, I'm chipping away at keeping my inventory up on the Snowman coasters, going through packaging up any orders that need to go out. All right, I was able to get the purge buckets printed out for both printers. Having it on both sides of them and a little bit bigger has definitely helped. You literally can just pick it up and empty it, and I don't have to really worry about it. Another upgrade I got for underneath here is these activated lights. They're these strips that detach via magnetic plates. You can charge them with USB-C, and they are motion censored, light sensor, and they have some different dimmable settings, but they stick right on. They charge very quickly, and they've been great. I got 2 of them. They come right off, and during the day, if I have it on auto, they don't really go on when it detects that there's light around, but at night they kick on and off whenever it detects something's printing or if I'm walking by it, but it's not too sensitive, so I like it. I got a 2-pack of them for about 12 bucks on Amazon, so I'll put a link in the description. I also got some cool merch in from Printful again. Just this hat alone cost about 15 bucks, and I got a nice sweatshirt just to wear in the shop and just throw away and get stuff all over. So really nice stuff. I'm really happy with the quality from Printful. I'll have a link down in the description if you guys want to get anything for yourself. Got the last final orders packaged up and ready to go out for the mailman. Etsy orders have been picking up quite a bit going into November, and Amazon orders are staying steady like they have the last couple months. So I'm really, really excited for the changes I've made in the shop, both with the setup, but also just the efficiency wise going into the holiday season. I think I'm setting myself up for another great holiday season. That's going to do it for today's vlog, guys. I appreciate you guys stopping in. If you like this content, please let me know, like, subscribe, do all the things all those other YouTubers say. It does help a lot, and it really means a lot knowing that you guys like the content and it's something you enjoy to watch. So with that being said, me and Parker, we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great week.